Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, it's 3 o'clock, so it's Tech Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking a little about PreEqualization Analyzer and some changes we've made recently in that application. I'll be right back. Hi, thanks for joining me. Rick Uzzi here at ZCorum. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. Again, today I'm going to be talking about PreEqualization Analyzer, which is our DOCSIS P&M tool. You may be a user of that application, and we've just recently done a update of that. So I want to make sure that if you're out there and you're using the application, that some of these things that may look a little bit different, maybe we can walk through some of those. It's going to take me 2 weeks, I think. I'm going to go through some things this week, and then as I was going through it, I thought I'd break that up into another week next week where we talk about a few other things. So again, this is DOCSIS Proactive Network Maintenance PreEqualization Analyzer, and let's take a look. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat on YouTube. I'll do my best to answer them, although I may have to take your question back to the development group or sales engineer or something like that if it's a little over my head. But again, I'll do the best I can. Welcome, Ben. Thanks for joining us. See you around there. And let's look at what we got here. So, PreEqualization Analyzer. This should look the same to you. This is the let's see here. Yep, this is the main dashboard, and there have not been too many changes here. There is something that you should be aware of. You can always check here for widgets, and we'll add those in different versions. But in this case, there was one that was added called a modem watch list, and it may be that it's already on your screen. I know I checked a couple of ones that I accessed, and it looked like it was already on there. But you can always select this add watch list and pull down a list of any that are available. And by the way, I'm looking at screenshots today. I'm not live in this because we don't have a demo version of this where I have names that I can pull up. I want to make sure I don't make a mistake and pull up a customer's information, especially a subscriber and end user. So we are looking at screenshots. I'm just going to be paging through those as we go. So this is the main dashboard. Should look very similar. And again, there's a add watch list, or excuse me, add widgets, and there's a add a watch list for a modem so that you can monitor that modem more closely. And if you select that, that will appear down here at the bottom as one of these widgets. And these widgets are basically just all these panels that you've got on your main dashboard. So as you look at your main dashboard, and you've got various things like your red modems over time, your daily modem status, cable modem trends over time. This is your critical modems. These are your worst modems on your plant right here. So that's what you're looking at there. And again, as you add a widget, it's going to show up down here, and you can actually grab these and move them around on the page. I can't demonstrate that obviously, but you can grab this and move it around, move it up here. You can move it up even higher. You can make that up here if you want to watch your critical modems. You can do it right there. So that's one feature to check out. Back up to the top here, and I'm going to show you now I think the biggest difference in this is what happens when you open a modem. And there's a couple of different ways you can open a modem. You can go up here to the search area and type in something about that particular customer, like their name, their MAC address, those kinds of things. Or you can, anywhere that you're in the application where you've got a MAC address that's linked, you can click that, and that will open that particular modem. And what happened in the past was it opened, this page remained here, this particular page remained here, and then it opened in a smaller window inside that page. Well, now what happens is when you click this, and you can't see it because of my full screen slides here, when you click this, what you're looking at here would remain in the background, and then it opens a second tab in your browser, and then you'll have this. So you have a full tab now with all of this information, and this is what looks, I think, the most different in the application that may have kind of confused people at first. And by the way, in this application, we don't update everyone at once like we do with our TrueVision software, which is the monitoring and diagnostic software for real-time kinds of issues. This is proactive network maintenance. We don't update this at the same time for everyone. So I think we've pretty much got everybody updated now. There might be one or two left, but that's the reason that I'm kind of doing this after the fact rather than before the fact. So you can see here on the screen, this normally would be your customer information. I've got this blurred out again because I don't want to be putting actual customer data up here. Then you've got your modem information, vendor, software, versions, and boot information, model, that kind of thing. And then here, this this is on the critical action list, so this modem is not looking very good, as we can see right here. So this is your normal table information where you see your in-channel frequency response, your bandwidth, the frequency it's on, main tap compression. That's all not in a good state right there. Your micro reflection levels. I can never say micro reflection levels. And then your delay, your group delay, TDR, that's your in-home distance of a reflection or an echo cavity, and then your outside plant, your VTDR, that's more likely going to be in your outside plant. That's the echo chamber between two reflection points in the outside plant. We can see we've got 902 feet here. We've got, on this channel, we've got 0, and then we've got 684 here. So this modem, again, is having some issues. It may still be just fine for the end user because this is a proactive network maintenance tool. So we're looking at basically what the cable plant, what the CMTS is seeing before what it would be seeing if the modem was not compensating their pre-EQ values. So if the modem was not compensating, this would be in really bad shape. But the modem is compensating, and it's changing the signal before it gets to the CMTS, and everything looks pretty good to the CMTS. But we're looking at what would look like without that going on. So that's what this is. Something that's new here, again, because we've now got this in a new tab, you've got a copy icon right here, and you can just click this and copy the URL for this tab. Of course, you could go up in your browser and copy the URL in the address line up there, but this is a quick way to just copy that URL. And that way, if you want to share this with somebody, you can just send that to them. And as long as they have PreEqualization Analyzer up and running, it will open that tab. Obviously, they have to be logged in to be able to view this information. But if they're logged in, they can just paste that up in the browser, and it will open the same modem for them. And because this is a tab, it's opening in a tab, you can have multiple devices open at the same time. So before, where you had the little window, then you had to go to another modem, and you had to open it, and you had another little window that opened up if you went to the view on that modem. Now you can have as many tabs open as you want as you go through this. So you might want to compare 2 or 3 or 4 modems in different tabs, and you can just click back and forth between those, and you can see those. So that works out real well with this tab right here. And you've got kind of like you had, I think, on the last version where it did open in the little window. You've got some pluses that you can click on to expand that information. Actually, before I go to that, something else that's added in here, which is really a nice feature. Before we had a show modem and a hide, or excuse me, a show RF values and hide RF values button, where you could expand the information that was shown in this particular table right here. Well, now we let you pick what you want to show, so we don't have that show hide anymore. So you can just go in here and click Add a Column. Oh, sorry, I got my slides. I forgot. I was going to mention that just like before, you can add this modem to a watch list. You can create a work order. And actually, what I'm saying here is this is before, we had the add a modem to a watch list or monitor that modem down on the bottom. So you can also do it right here. So on the dashboard, if you've got that widget down there, you can click right there to add a modem to the watch list to monitor that more closely. Or if you've got the modem open, you can just click right here and do the same thing. You can create a work order like you always could. You can install the cable modem right there, and that's where it goes out and it collects some values and creates a birth certificate for that device when you are actually installing a modem. And then you can rescan the modem, and then here you can save this information in a PDF for later view if you want to do that. So you can also share it that way or get a historical view of what you're looking at right now. And again, this is new, so this add column here, when you click that, that's going to open up this box where you can then select what you want to appear in this table. And I'm going to pretend to scroll down here, and you can see there's other things checked, so you can check or uncheck anything you want, and that's going to be what shows up in this particular table right here. And if you go over the number, if you put more in here that's going to fit in this particular space, then it just gives you a little scroll bar at the bottom, so you can scroll left and right to view all of the information that you've selected. So this is nice. You can kind of put this table in the format that you want and see the information that you want right there. Again, we've got these down here, these pluses that you can click. So let's say I scroll up. Before I click that, you can see the map right here pretty much looks the same, although one thing that's that's different is we now default to nearby modems, so you don't have to click a little button to show that. When you're looking at a modem, rather than show you everything, we're going to show you just the what we call the nearby modems to that device. And obviously I have this blurred out as well so that you can't see any of the detail, but this would be your map pretty much as it was before, with the exception of this now being nearby modems. And you can click for correlations. Next week I think I'm going to talk a little bit about correlation groups and some of the changes there, but you can click that to see any correlation groups. And again, you can click your downstream information here, and there is a change here. So if I were to click that, then now what you see is a table on the downstream information. Not a table, excuse me, a chart instead of a table. So you've got your chart right here, and you're looking at your ZCorum information right here. If you had OFDM, that would be showing up instead. And you've got your MER right here. So this is now in a chart format. And if you hover over any of these particular bars, you're going to get the information on what you're looking at, what you are interested in right in that spot. So here we're at 615 megahertz, and the MER is 35.4, and our power is minus 2.5. So and if you hover over any of these with your mouse, you're going to get that changing as you do that. The other really cool thing here is this is now in this chart, and the next one we're going to see there's historical information here that you can page back and forth between, and you can actually hit a play button to go through that, and I'll show somewhat of a demonstration of that here in a minute. So again, you've got a little backward button, you've got a forward button, and then you've got this play button. And when you hit, it's going to be showing you the most current reading, and if you hit forward, so if you were to hit this forward button, I'm not actually showing where I clicked it, but if I were to hit this forward button, it would actually go back to the very beginning, because it's like a circle. So if you hit forward and you're at the very last reading that we took, you're going to go back to the very first reading, and then you can go forward through there. If you hit the back, obviously you're going to be going back in time right there. And when you hit play, it also, if I were to click this, you'll notice up here right now it says this is 2020, June 8th, 2020 at this particular time right here, 14:15:39. And when I hit the play button, you'll see that it did go back to the beginning of the record, which would be June 1st right there at this particular time. And it will, at this point, it will actually start playing through the different charts. And I'll show it again, I'll show kind of a simple example of that here in a minute as we look at the ICFR and the digital tap charts. But you're going to see these bars moving and this MER line changing as it pages through time. It will play that automatically. So that's a really good way to kind of see what's going on over time and see how things are changing. And again, I'll demonstrate that a little bit here as we look at this other one here as we go into historical information. So again, on this tab that you've opened, you've got your historical information, this little plus that you can expand. So you click that, and that's going to expand. And here's where you see your ICFR, your in-channel frequency chart, and then your digital tap chart. And I know this was confusing for a lot of people. It's like, where did that go? Well, because before you would open it up and it would be right there in the window and you could see it. So here you're just going to click on that historical information and it will show you that. And we are looking at historical information here. So the reason these lines are thick is because this is many days or polling periods together. And as you can tell from this, there haven't really been much changes. There's a little bit going on here that looks different, right? But the rest of these look pretty much the same, which means that this modem over time has been pretty consistent, and unfortunately pretty consistently bad over time. So that's what we're seeing here. And then the same thing on the digital taps. There's not a lot of change. There's some here and there, like you can see here on some of this stuff over here and over here, a few places where it's changed over time. And as before on this table, here's all of the polling periods or times that we've been looking at on here, and it's choosing all of those. And you can, on this table, just select one. So if I selected this, for example, then I'm just going to be pulling up that particular channel and looking at this particular time and seeing what it looks like. And the same on the digital taps. By the way, these digital taps now, this red line is more accurate than it was before. It was pretty accurate before, but now it's really pretty accurate as far as if you see something over this line, then you've reached that threshold. And we can see here that we've got something that's close, fairly close in home. It's not tap 9, but it's tap 10, and it's over the threshold. And then way out here in the outside plant, we've got another tap that's elevated. So you can see here on your in-home, your TDR, we've got a 44-foot echo cavity that's in close to the home. And then your VTDR, we've got an echo cavity of just over 900 feet. So there's a span of cable somewhere where there's a reflection point, 2 reflection points, excuse me, where that signal is bouncing back and forth, a micro-reflection that this is affecting this particular device. And I can't look at it here, but I would think there would be a correlation group associated with this as well, because if you've got a 900-foot span of cable, then most likely there are other devices that are also, the signal is also going over that cable. So a lot of times when you see a VTDR like this, it means that there's a common impairment, although again, I'm just looking at screenshots and I didn't think to check that. So you can do that, and then again, we've got the same thing here. We've got this back and forward and play button, so you can hit play and page through that, or you can go back and forward and see what was going on in the plant. And if you hit the play button, again, what's going to happen, you'll see there's nothing up here now, but as soon as I hit play, it's going to show me what it's currently showing, and in this case, again, it's gone back to the first record that I had at this particular point. And I'm just going to go ahead and click through some of these, and you'll see how this changes. And it's pretty much how it looks on the screen. So it's going to kind of go through these, and you can see, well, I thought it would be smoother than that. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So if this were changing with the time right now, you'd see kind of this process. It's not smoother than this when you're actually looking at it and it's playing. Let's see if I can get that to do that. That's a little better if I go that way. So you can see how it would be changing as you go through this time here, right there. And the last few, it does not look smooth because of the way I was doing that there, but now it does. So again, you can see your time changing up here. That's 2022-16. I don't have every single snapshot. I was just taking screenshots as it was coming up. So you see you got 6.2, then you got some different minutes that it's collecting that information, and you can watch the ICFR response here changing, and then you can watch the digital taps changing here. So again, this particular device doesn't look, it's basically been consistently bad, so it doesn't look like a lot has changed on this one over time, but you are going to have devices out there that are going to be kind of intermittent where everything looks good for periods of time, and then it might go from green to yellow to red to green to red, and you can see this one again, consistently bad, consistently red. But that would be a good use case for this particular feature if you've got a modem that's been kind of going up and down as far as the ICFR and the digital taps. You can see particularly when it's been bad, and it's a little bit easier to visualize that in this particular chart. So that's another nice feature. And again, we'll go through that. And again, we're looking at the map here, and no big changes. Down here you've got, I can't scroll over that because you won't see it, but down in the left bottom corner there, you see you've got your VTDR, or your virtual time domain chart, which will look the same as before. So again, here we're looking at your VTDR, and it's just kind of showing you visually where this is here. So that's the same. And then also, I picked a different device here because I wanted to pick one that had the full band capture modem. And just in case you weren't aware, a full band capture modem, those are the pins on the map that have the long stem. So when you see this on the map, that means that it's a full band capture modem, and you can pull up the downstream spectrum. And we capture that spectrum and take a snapshot. And this is the most recent. You're going to see the most recent snapshot here. You can always rescan that. If it doesn't show up, if it's a full band capture capable modem and you just see spectra chart and there's no chart here, you can always click rescan modem and it will scan and pull that up for you. And you can see here, obviously this device has got some issues. So you've got, it's showing an adjacency right here, and then showing a suck out here, and then another adjacency here where you've got this big rise again in your channels. So I wanted to make sure that I showed one that had that full band capture. So this again, a lot of same information that was in that little window that appeared that will pop up inside the application. Now it's on its own tab, And again, it's helpful because you can look at various modems together, different tabs that you can have open at the same time as you try to troubleshoot what's going on. So that's the changes on the modem device tab now. So hopefully that will help you as you've been looking into the changes in the application. Again, I'll be back next week to talk about, I think, correlation groups and a few other changes possibly in the application that I'm still going through to try to help you with that. So if this was helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe to our channel. And if you subscribe, click the little bell, and you'll know whenever we're live or whenever we post a new video. So thanks for joining me. I will see you next week for Tech Tuesday, 3 o'clock. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.